All right, Lincoln High School, here we go. This is Create Your Own Blur 2 Ways. By the way, congratulations to the volleyball team. That was an incredible game tonight. So I just finished watching that, and now here I am recording this video for you for the sub tomorrow. So with this assignment, we're going to go ahead and blur the background. So that's kind of a technique you might want to do sometimes when you're taking photos. You like to get a kind of a blurry background. But in the off chance that maybe when you took the photo, it didn't get as blurry as you want, you can actually go into Photoshop and edit it to kind of create a more blurry background. So I'm going to go ahead and download this picture here again of our boy, the zebra here. Zebra Chad, I believe his name is. All right, you're going to click Download Image. All right, and go ahead and hit Save. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up Photoshop. And I'll go ahead and open up that picture of the zebra. So Zebra Safari and the downloads. There it is. Open it up. There we go. All right, so the first way we're going to do this is we're going to go ahead and use our magnetic lasso tool. And we're just going to go ahead and select out the zebra here, just like we've done a number of times on several projects. All right. So quick selection here with my magnetic lasso tool. Sorry, it's going to take me just a moment. All right, remember we may need to just add to our selection. If you remember, we can do that pretty simply by holding down the Shift key. That can add to our selection. Or if we need to subtract from our selection, we can hold down the Alt key, I believe, right? Alt key, yep. All right, so I may just need to go in here and grab a little bit more, maybe. Actually, around his ears, not too bad. But along the back here, maybe Shift key. Just add in a little bit along his back. A little better. All right. Remember, we can always go up and feather it maybe just a little bit. So select, modify, feather. And do that. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to select and select inverse. So we select everything but the zebra. And then we're going to go up to filter. And we're going to go down to blur. And we're going to add a Gaussian blur. Right? And we can adjust the amount of the blur here. As you notice, it's only applying it to the area selected. So the zebra doesn't get blurred out, but everything else does. So let's make it really obvious. Right? We go crazy, go 100%, and it just becomes colors and shapes. So maybe we do a little bit less. Right? Hit OK. And then select, deselect. And there we go. We got the zebra is in focus and the background is blurred out. All right, so that's the first way we're going to do it. And we're going to go ahead and file, save that as a JPEG. And we're going to call that blur with lasso and hit save. All right, so that's one way that you could go and select out the zebra and blur the background. I'm going to go ahead and open this again. So I'm going to go File, Open, and open up again the Zebra Safari with Owner. All right, this time we're going to do it differently. We're going to use a layer mask in order to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and duplicate our backgrounds. So we're going to right click on it and select duplicate layer. Or you can click on background, you can drag it down to the new layer button. Either way, it'll make a copy of the background. We only need one though. All right, so I'm going to go ahead on the background copy and I'm going to go up to filter. So background copy, so the top layer. And I'm going to go down to blur, and I'm going to go to Gaussian blur. All right, and do about the same amount of blur again, and hit OK. Now this is blurred. If I uncheck it, the background's not blurred. Now if you remember last time we learned about layer masks. So you can add a layer mask to anything. So if I go down here and click on this layer mask button right here, it will add a layer mask to it, and just like before, it's this white box and it's linked to this layer. So anywhere I paint in this white layer mask with black, the background, which is not blurred, will show through. So if I come over here with my paintbrush and start to paint with black, the zebra starts to come back through, right? And I can go in and I can decide, all right, so I want him to come in and be visible, and the background to be blurry. So, boom. Obviously, I did too much. Remember, I can go into the channels and turn on this, the mask highlighter, so we can see what we're doing. And remember, if I hit the X key, it switches it back to white, and so I can go in here and fine tune this selection, or this blur, right, around my zebra here. Remember, I keep hitting the X key to switch between black and white. Again, I'm going to go ahead and actually increase the feather quite a bit on my brush. So I'm using like a 20% brush. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and get this all feathered in. Oh, I'm missing some of his ear here, so let's bring his ear back. There we go. Feather the rest of it. And I'm actually going to go ahead and turn off this mask so I can kind of see what it's looking like. Oops. So we want that eye to kind of pop there. All right, it's kind of nice using this soft brush. You can kind of fake it a little bit. All right, and you can really fine tune, right? If you make a mistake, you can go in and paint with the other color and undo whatever you did. All right, so I kind of got that all set there. Oops. All right, and once I got it the way that I like it, so this is the other option, is using the layer mask. So this is what the final product results in. I'm going to go ahead and save this one as blur with layer mask and click save. All right, and then I want you to go ahead and turn both versions in on a document. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new document. 11 by 8.5 because I want landscape in this case. Hit create. Now you go ahead and go file, place embedded. And I'm going to put in those two photos. So the blur with lasso and oh, you know what? I didn't save this one right. I didn't save it as a JPEG. So file save as blur with layer mask, but let's change it to a JPEG. Save it. So now we can place an embedded. So file, place embedded, blur with layer mask, JPEG, place that. Right. And I can go ahead and label both of them. Ooh, if my program doesn't crash, there we go. Okay. So this one going slow for some reason, was the selection tool. All right. And this one over here was the layer mask. All right. All right, and then I could also put a background in here if we wanted to. All right. Blue and gold. All right. Let's do it this way. All right. So this is what you're going to go ahead and turn in. That's good. All right, and go ahead and file. I'm going to save this one as a JPEG. I'm going to call this as the blur comparison. Or blur, what do we call this? Blur tool two ways. Or blur two ways. Two ways if I could spell. There we go. So I'll save that as a JPEG so I can turn it in. And that's what I want you to go into Schoology and turn in. Very important though, once you label each and put them in and turn it in, put in the comments, or you can even put it on the doc if you want, which method did you prefer? So we just did two methods. One was to use the selection tool. The other one was to use a layer mask. Which one did you like and why? Was one easier? Was one harder? Was one more forgiving? Right? Think about that. Write something in the comments. So again, when you turn it in, you have a spot over on the right-hand side where you can put in a comment. So go ahead and put in a comment about which one you preferred and why. All right? All right, good luck, Lincoln High School, and good job, Zebras. And I'll see you when I get back.